Hello, good day friend. Today I'll talk on C# Task.ContinueWith method. So let's start. C# Task.ContinueWith method runs once the antecedent task completes successfully, throws exception or cancelled. So say you have a task and that task has been completed, or it throws some exceptions, or it got cancelled. After that, this continue with task runs. In the continue with task, you have result, exception, status, like all the properties of and the methods of antecedent task. Continue with creates a new task and returns it, so further chaining can be possible. So it is very useful for chaining of similar tasks, like say a web service has been called or API has been called, and once the result is available, I want to utilize it for further processing, and once that is done, I can do another processing. So that kind of chaining is very much possible with continue with. Now you can argue that okay, that is also possible by placing a await keyword, like I have a task which is calling an API and getting the data, and I'm awaiting the result to come back, and once the result is available, I'm going further and doing the next step, and I'm awaiting that to complete, and then again doing the third step. That's true, we can do that. But say what is you are calling two APIs simultaneously, and you want once the result come back, and then there are two flow, like you are processing order, and at the same time you are like checking the dispatch, like scheduling the dispatch. So two different flow you can handle in two thread, and their further processing can be taken care of by this continue with. Let us see continue with in action. Okay, I'm here in Visual Studio Console application. Let me take a task. Task 1. Okay, now I can continue with. So you can see continue with has several overloaded method. It is expecting a continuation action, and if we see, it can also take cancellation token, continuation options, scheduler, etc. And it returns a task. So as it returns a task, so we can chain further continue with this task. So let us see this one. So if I go and try to write the method, you see I'm getting an error. It's telling action task doesn't take 0 argument. So I need to pass this T1 as an antecedent. This is antecedent. Okay, I need to pass that, and that antecedent, the properties are available, like whether it is faulted or not, exception, and then the status, and like all this you will get, like is completed or is cancelled. All these things will be, all these things are available. So for the sake of simplicity, let me put it like this: task 1 chain 1. Is it? Now as I told that this continue with is returning task, so if I go sorry, we can further put continue with this. Okay, now here also I need to pass the antecedent, and this remember, this antecedent is not this T1, this is this task, and I have to mark it task 1, sorry, chain 2. Okay, so this is about this. This green wiggle I am getting because I can put await here. It's asking me to awaiting the task. Now here is the benefit of continue with. Like if I have another line of task, say this is task 2, and say, and this has sorry, let's type it. If I, so here also it would be similar. This is chain 1. Here also I need to pass the antecedent, and this is how it is. And then if I want to extend it, I can do that. This antecedent is T2 and this antecedent is this one. So console dot write line, so I can write task 2 chain 2. Okay, and then to simulate the show, let me make it let me make the console application wait. Yeah, let me do so. Okay, this is just making the console application not to exit and not to close, so that these two tasks can run. Okay, now if I run it, you see task 2 started, task 1 started, task 2 chain 1, then task 1 chain 1, then task 2 chain 2, then task 1 chain 2, and done. So if I run it again, you see task 1 this time started early, task 2 next, though task 2 started next, but task 2 chain 1 then executed, and then task 1 chain 1, then task 2 chain 2, and then task 1 chain 2. So this is the benefit of continue with. Like if I do one thing, let me show you one more. Let me throw an exception here. So if I throw an exception, like let me put a message task 1 exception. Okay, and now I'm getting the exception here. I'm marking this antecedent. Let me mark it like this, and let me use string interpolation, and we'll mark antecedent dot we will be getting the exception. Yep, we are getting the message. I'm putting the message, and then I also want to put the and check dot is faulted property. Okay, so that is about this. And then I have to take this one, I have to come here, and then I have to do it in this method. Okay, fine. Now let me show that you can see it. Okay, now you can see. So what I'm doing, I'm throwing an exception from the first task, and then in the continue with, I'm catching the exception, writing the message and checking the is faulted property. And then on the after the like when I'm going to next continue with, I'm also checking the is faulted property. Okay, so there is one more property we can check. Antecedent dot is completed successfully. Okay, so I can take that here, and we can put the strict tabulation here as well, so that we can check the property here. So I can show you how this. Okay, so let me make this a bit more so that. Okay, now I think it's all visible. Okay. Let me run this and let's see what happens. So it is trying to throw exception. Let me continue. It threw exception. If I go here, you see task 2, then task 2 chain 1, task 2 chain 2, and in the task 1 the exception has been thrown. See, task 1 exception, that was the message I wrote. Task 1 exception, this is the message. This came here. Okay, is faulted. Yes, it is faulted. Is completed successfully? No, it is not completed successfully. We then next continue with A. Is it faulted? Then the antecedent, that means this continue with. It is telling, is this one faulted? No, that is not faulted. And then the, so if I just put the way, probably you'll be able to see it clearly. This will go, yeah. And so this continue with, and here is a thrown exception, and if we got the exception, we check is faulted. Yes, it is. The task before this continue with is faulted. That was not completed successfully. And then the next antecedent, it is printing properly that this continue with is not faulted and it's completed successfully. This, when this exception has been thrown, this task flow has not disturbed. So that is the benefit of continue. Thank you for watching this.